I think the whole thing should be opened up. I don't like the way it works at all. You know, all of that is very difficult, and we need to be quite clear about exactly what the role of GPRC. Is it above GPEX? Is it beside GPEX? Is it beneath GPEX in terms of power? What exactly are its roles and responsibility? We have a disputes resolution committee, and GPRC, from what I understand of it, tends to get caught up in the minutiae of the detail of things that happen in the party, which is not entirely strategic. Whereas surely it should be there to try and represent members of the party in another way, in a much bigger picture way. And that's what I would want to see. Now, how people get on with GPRC, whether we still have a GPRC, whether we have a GPEX, whether we just have one body, you know, instead of these two bodies. These are the kind of discussions I would like to open up and see. Now, I'm not terribly worried about the detail of who gets voted on to GPRC, but what I am worried about is the kind of decisions that they're making, the strategic division that they have or don't have, it seems to me. And therefore, when you have a new GPEX coming into place in September, you know, what are they faced with? Well, they're faced with having to do what the old GPEX had already set in line, which is, you know, that's fine, that's the way things work, but surely we should have a better way. We need a more strategic overview of it all, and maybe GPRC could play a part in that. That's what I'd like to see. But I just think it needs looking at altogether. It was set up, you know, so long ago, and the party has moved on, and it's really time to revisit these structures that we've got inside the party, I think, and I'd just like us to have a look at that and just see if there's a better way of operating than we've got at the moment. I'm not wanting to say how that should be, because that's, you know, I don't know enough about it to say how it should be, but I would like the discussion to be had.
Okay, thank you. Do you have a question for Ray?
Yes, I'm interested. You're talking about that you think the chair has a role, should be leading political strategy. I think the chair actually does have a role in working with our leaders on political strategy, so I'm just wondering what exactly your political strategy would be if you're chair.
Okay, given that the current chair and chairs of the Green Party have always been able to, as other members of GPEX have been able to propose political strategy, like I've said, I would maintain, in terms of you know, sort of next general election and local elections where we have them, my strategy would be to retain the focus on target to win, but instead of trying to fill as many general election candidates as possible, take a more nuanced approach where we focus or we ask local parties to raise resources, not to stand more candidates, but to stand fewer candidates that have more campaigning resources, more, you know, more leaflets and, you know, free posts, for example. That's my strategy for next year. Overall, I think the Green Party really needs to discover its, you know, its vision. I mean, it's something that, you know, having worked in, you know, sort of on the boards of, you know, various bodies in the past, and my students' union last year as well, you need to have a mission, a vision and values. That's something that you can keep on referring back to. As part of my, you know, personal political strategy of, as the chair of GPEX, I would certainly hope to constantly remind people in GPEX that we're working towards a mission, and for the party and members, not just conference, not just GPRC, not just GPEX, but the members, to really be involved in that debate. And that's certainly why, and again, you talk about strategy, certainly, you know, my strategy in this campaign, in this internal election, has been to try and open up the debate to as many people as possible. You know, I put all my plans, my ideas up on my website. You know, I try to use the discussion email list as much as I can. Facebook, put something on Facebook. I put something on Facebook, on Twitter as well. I proposed that we have this debate so that people can actually see us in person. I think one member said that, you know, they have no idea who to vote for. They haven't seen either person. They don't know them. So, you know, this is why I've been trying to have a debate, and certainly if I was elected into GPEX, with the measures that I proposed of filming the meetings and putting them online so people can actually see us in person, and that GPEX members, when they speak and conduct, you know, sort of business with each other, they know that they're being almost effectively watched by the members to who they are accountable to, and so they, you know, hopefully that would be one part of diffusing some of the tensions that I've seen happen in GPEX for a number of years now, lots of personalities. And in the longer term, I believe, as I was saying before about how we should look at how GPEX is structured and sort of open it out to make it easier and less, you know, sort of less of a time commitment. One thing I'd like to see certainly in the future is, again, in addition to devolving, and this all ties into, you know, to your question about political strategy, devolving the roles of GPEX members onto paid staff, so that GPEX is more akin to a trustee board or management board, or your advisory council that you have in other political parties and NGOs and charities, where you have less portfolios. So let's say, one thing I've noticed, and especially in European election campaigns, something that I've definitely been very careful to see is that when you have someone, a part-time volunteer who's responsible for a particular portfolio, a particular area of things, even though decisions are made collectively, when, let's say, our elections go wrong, or finance goes wrong, external communications go wrong, internal communications go wrong, that person gets blamed. They get a lot of flack. I mean, I've got a lot of flack just for standing. I don't know how much flack I'm going to get if elected chair. And so if you get rid of the specific portfolios, everyone on GPEX, but a chair and perhaps a secretary, is equal, and that means every decision made is collective. And that will mean that less people get flat. They'll take less time, because rather than having to do a job, you actually you have to get to focus on strategy and governance over the party. So, I mean, to summarise, my political strategy will be to actually change the party to better change the country.
So, could I just add that?
Sure.
Supplementaries to that one. Yeah, I mean, I just really quickly wanted to know where your political positioning would be at the Green Party. We're talking about political strategy. And secondly, just to clarify, I suppose, you started talking about the funding for the European elections, and on the one hand you're sort of saying that Target to Win is the major approach, but on the other hand you're worrying about the fact that finances went to our main Target to Win constituency, London, and didn't go to the North West. The two seem a bit contradictory. I'm just wondering politically, where does that take you? Which side of the fence are you sitting on here? Is it Target to Win, or is it actually the North West should have had the money and not London?
So there's two separate questions there.
Well, it's a political
Okay. What I would say was that, certainly from my perspective as an activist on the ground, and this was a consensus of most people, and you look at things that polls that back this up as well. From on the ground, the facts on the ground made it quite clear that we were going to re-elect our MEP in London, and so when that was clear, yes, we need to focus on, foremost on re-electing what we already have. But
sorry, could I just clarify what facts these were that we were going to re-elect? Because we were one seat less than last time, and she only just got in last time.
Yeah.
Everyone thought she wasn't going to get in again.
Yeah, but the polls had us on, the polls indicated, and certainly in terms of facts on the ground, in terms of what people were saying, in terms of really positive reaction from the public and people in London that I went to during the campaign, as part of the campaign, canvassing and remarking. It certainly seemed from the evidence available to anybody, and to me as an individual, that I was as sure as could be. And again, this isn't my personal opinion. I'm not saying, but it's a personal opinion based upon the evidence available to me, based on facts available to me, like the opinion polls, that we're going to re-elect them. And yeah, I don't think that's inconsistent with Target to Win. I think Target to Win means that you target to win. You don't actually win. We didn't win any extra seats, and that means you're not, you target, but you're not targeting correctly. And just more resources, just more attention, just more focus on the national executive towards our campaigns in the Northwest and the Southwest and the Eastern region could have resulted in MEPs being one there. So I say, yeah, Target to Win. Yeah, we got limited resources, but when you decide how to divide resources between particular regions, you're not just doing it arbitrarily. You're doing it to win, and you have to target resources to actually win. If you don't win, then you're not targeting properly. In terms of my position with the party, I'm left wing. I don't owe anything to anyone in the party. My loyalty, my allegiance are to the principles that the party is founded on: ecology, social justice, grassroots democracy, and non-violence. I'm not a member of any faction. I did vote yes in the leadership campaign because, as I said before, I think it's important when people ask who your leader is that you can say who your leader is and not have to spend a lot of time explaining why you haven't got someone called a leader in a political party. But I'm not a member of any faction. I don't own anything. I'm not tied to this particular wing of the party, that party. My only concern, my only allegiance, my allegiance first and foremost to the principles the party stands for, that we all agree upon when we sign up to be members of the Green Party.